The 1992 Cricket World Cup changed my life by Jeremy Wells. In February 1992, I just turned 15 and was already a cricket tragic. Yet somehow the fact New Zealand was about to host a World Cup opener in my home city had largely escaped me. Different times. I was playing cricket on the morning of the 22nd with my mate Simon Dykes, whose father Ross was a black cap selector. He said, "Hey, what are you doing this afternoon? Want to come to the cricket with me?" It was a life-changing moment. I'd been to Eden Park to watch cricket before, but it was always with my dad and we'd sit sensibly in the north stand. This was the first time I went along to the terraces with my mates. It must have been the only place in New Zealand where you didn't get asked for ID when you went to the bar. The assumption must have been made that if you were old enough to go to the bar and ask for a beer, you must have been old enough to drink it. The whole day was intoxicating. New Zealand batted first and Martin Crowe, the most elegant player we've ever produced, scored a magnificent century. But let's face it, 248 was never going to be enough against Australia with Boone, Border, Dean Jones and the Wars. Deepak Patel opened the bowling and then Crowe, the skipper, unleashed the dibbly-dobbly attack on the world. Willie Watson, Gavin Larson, Chris Harris and even Rod Latham just sucked the life out of opposing batters. What a win. That Eden Park pitch never got enough credit for being New Zealand's player of the tournament. As for me, I was now committed to going to every game I possibly could. South Africa was smashed by 7 wickets when Mark Greatbatch, elevated to opener in place of an injured John Wright, went gonzo at the top of the order. What a revelation. I'll never forget him swinging that SS Turbo like a club. The West Indies were dispatched with 5 wickets and 9 balls to spare. Greatbatch was pinging Malcolm Marshall and Curtly Ambrose over the offside into the stands and staring them down. That sort of stuff just didn't happen in those days. As a teenager on the terraces, it was so life-affirming. It was a genuine party atmosphere. There was no pipe music. The crowd provided the soundtrack to that World Cup, and I don't even think we experienced anything quite like it again until we beat Australia in that low-scoring thriller at the 2015 World Cup. Then came Pakistan. That was absolutely crushing. We scored enough on that track. Crowe was brilliant again, but he couldn't take the field, and John Wright had to captain via a hastily scrawled paper note. We looked certainties to win though. The crowd was chanting, "We're in the final," as Imran Khan and Javed Miandad were crawling along, and the run rate pushed just above the mythical 6 runs per over mark. Inzamam al-Haq was the first to take on our dibbly-dobblies, especially Chris Harris. He embarrassed them in ways that other teams should have. We choked, really, and the loss was reflected on the terraces. Our friend group started to lose numbers, as one was evicted for shouting "It's sausage time" and throwing a snuller at a cop, another for urinating on somebody else. It all fell to bits on and off the field. Still, that tournament had a profound effect on me. My love of cricket was elevating just as New Zealand's fortunes were declining. You could look at that post-Hadley landscape as pretty bleak. Crowe by now was playing on one leg, and some of those bowling attacks we cobbled together were pure comedy, but geez, the 90s were interesting. They threw up some unique characters. Even in our darkest years, we were still strangely watchable. Cricket, you can't beat it.